to introduce a very good friend of mine. His name is Shahid Buttar. You may have heard of him. Shahid is running against Nancy Pelosi, but he's also running to defeat capitalism and this fucked up DNC. Shahid Buttar.
Thank you, Hemeen. Thank you, Hemeen. Thank you, DSA. Thank you, everybody here, for taking your Friday night to come out and engage around these issues. So first, just a question. Did anybody in watching this debate observe that we're basically hearing people rehearse a set of talking points that they've spent probably weeks preparing in very focus groups with very highly paid people? And if the charade of what passes for our democracy offends you, I want to offer you a few alternatives. And so one of them is connecting with DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, around the country. Word up. Come to one of our meetings, plug into one of the working groups. There are a million different ways to build a brighter future, and they don't all involve voting. You can do things like mutual aid. You can do things like direct action. You can educate your neighbors. These are important ways of contributing beyond the formal apparatus that our state sets up. And then just thinking about that formal apparatus that our state sets up, does anybody notice that there was basically an intelligence operation run in Iowa about 4 days ago to suppress a vote? This is a signal that what we are looking at, no bets are off. Eisenhower warned us in the 50s to take nothing for granted. King warned us after that the intersecting evils of capitalism, militarism, and racism threaten justice everywhere. He did not anticipate that they would come to threaten life on Earth. And that is what we are facing at the moment, is an existential, species-wide global crisis, a preventable crisis of our own creation. And we can choose a path forward that respects future generations, or we can instead continue to kick them off a cliff. I would like to make sure that your grandkids have a chance at surviving and thriving. Would you? Bernie Sanders does too, which is why I'm very eager to help deliver San Francisco and California for our first Jewish president. And I say that very proudly. I say that very proudly as a Muslim American congressional candidate, recognizing that the values that bring us together in the service of defending human rights in crisis, in expanding human rights to include healthcare and shelter and food. These are values, these are interests that transcend any faith community, that transcend any race, that transcend any people. These are species-wide global values that we have an opportunity to promote by choosing a president that will lead us in a different direction. I want to just briefly drag the other candidates. Buttigieg and his billionaires do not offer a change in the future. I was fighting for Pete's rights 15 years ago in the courts as a cis hetero Muslim lawyer from the Midwest. Pete does not go to bat for other people's rights, period. With respect to Liz, and I'll admit, I was in Washington when Liz Warren came to the Senate, and I have a soft spot for her having taken out a Republican senator. And there were social movements while she was an adult. There was a civil rights movement. There was a movement to bring peace in Vietnam. There was a movement for equal rights for women. She wasn't part of any of them. Bernie Sanders was a part of every one of them. Amy Klobuchar, like every prosecutor, with the exception of a handful, thankfully including our own district attorney, Chesa Boudin. And just a brief note, Chesa, of course, people know is abolished cash bail. You heard Bernie shout that out as a federal priority that he wants to promote. So if you support Chesa, support Bernie, right? But unlike Chesa, Amy was a predatory prosecutor. Predatory prosecutors should not be in the White House. And as long as I'm dragging Democratic incumbents, let's remember the incumbent in the seat I'm running for, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in the last week alone, has welcomed a right-wing beneficiary of a coup to Washington. Mind you, she represents the city where the UN was founded, right? We're not just any city in the United States. This is a proud center of the peace and justice movement, of the human rights community, and we're represented by someone in Washington supporting autocracy abroad, supporting this tyrant's foreign policy, inviting him to the House to give a campaign rally on national television. Are you okay with that? I'm very eager to offer you an alternative. Visit us online at shahidforchange.us. I want to shout out a couple colleagues that are here in the room. Jasper Wild, our campaign managers in the back, raise your hand. Otto Pippinger, here, our field director. Please come talk to any of us. We took over Chase's office just across the neighborhood on 15th and Guerrero. Come visit us. There's an election going on now until March 3rd. I look forward to your support. I look forward to representing you in Washington.